Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance. And today we are talking about something that at first glance may not look like one of the biggest events in hero wars. But Guardians. Sometimes the best rewards are not inside the shop. Sometimes the reward is knowledge. Because yes, if we are brutally honest about Brawls from a pure account progression perspective, the shop itself is not revolutionary. You are not walking away with insane acceleration. You are not transforming your account overnight. You are not finding massive hidden value. But this event gives us something that is becoming rarer and rarer in hero wars. Freedom. Every hero maxed. Every investment unlocked. Every relic activated. Every possibility open. And Guardians. That is priceless. Because suddenly all those red relics we spend weeks reading, analyzing, imagining, we finally get to see them. We get to feel them. We get answers. Which interactions are real? Which heroes scale harder? Which teams are just theory? And which teams become monsters? And after testing, one team jumped immediately. One team that did not feel balanced. One team that felt aggressive, violent, relentless. A team that simply refuses to stop fighting. And Guardians. We started calling it the KAKA team. Kendall, Aiden, Kayla, Astaroth, and Dorian. And before anyone says, wait, that composition should not work. That is exactly why Brawls matters. Because this team works. And it works beautifully. Let's break it down. Everything starts with Kendall and Guardians. The more we explore Kendall, the clearer something becomes. She does not play normal hero wars. She is pressure. She sacrifices. She amplifies. She creates situations where survival becomes offense. Her pure damage scales. Her sacrifice mechanics reward long fights. Her critical pure damage interactions become more dangerous over time. But Kendall has one weakness. She constantly dances close to danger. She needs support. She needs stability. And that is where Aiden enters. Aiden does not simply heal. Aiden manipulates survival. He transforms health, redistributes pressure, creates sustain loops. And suddenly something beautiful begins happening. Kendall sacrifices. Aiden stabilizes. Kendall pushes. Aiden protects. And instead of Kendall collapsing, the engine keeps running. Immediately this already feels dangerous. But then, Kayla enters. And Guardians. Kayla completely changes the pace. Because unlike Kendall who creates scaling pressure, Kayla creates immediate punishment. Fast engagement. Fast kills. Fast tempo. Suddenly opponents do not get time. And that matters. Because while Kendall builds momentum, Kayla forces reactions. Enemies start protecting. Start panicking. Start losing positioning. And then Kendall starts feeding off that instability. But we still have another problem. Who absorbs pressure? Who buys time? Who creates room? Astaroth? And this is where the composition becomes brilliant. Because Astaroth does not only tank. He delays defeat. His resurrection immediately becomes incredibly valuable inside this composition because every extra second matters. Every extra second means more sacrifice, more healing, more pure damage, more scaling, more chaos. And suddenly the opponent starts feeling like they are fighting 6 heroes instead of 5. But Guardians, the final piece, is the one that surprised us. Dorian. Because Dorian is what transforms this team from dangerous into absurd. And after his rework and relic direction, this interaction starts becoming incredible. Think about it. Kayla constantly attacking, healing, maintaining pressure. Kendall sacrificing, receiving sustain. Aiden stabilizing. Astaroth delaying collapse. And Dorian sitting behind all of that, turning aggression into recovery. Suddenly attacks become healing. Pressure becomes stain. And once relic interactions start appearing, everything becomes even crazier. Because now recovery starts feeding protection. Protection feeds pressure. Pressure feeds healing. And the cycle never seems to end. That is what shocked us during testing. This team should feel reckless. Instead, it feels controlled. Controlled chaos. And then something else appears. Resurrection. Because suddenly Astaroth delays death. Dorian creates stain. Kendall keeps scaling. And enemies begin realizing something terrifying. Heroes they thought were gone keep fighting. Momentum they thought stopped keeps going. Pressure they thought ended returns again. And Guardians. That is what makes this composition special. Not raw numbers. Identity. Everything points in one direction. Sacrifice. Recovery. Pure damage. Tempo. Second chances. And what makes Brawls beautiful? We discovered this without spending. Without building. Without committing resources. That is why I always say, do not underestimate these events. Because progression is not only resources. Progression is understanding. You learn in interactions. You learn future investments. You learn which heroes deserve your account. And this team caught our attention immediately. Now of course, we continue testing. We always continue testing. Because one team today can become 10 tomorrow. That is the beauty of Brawls. But Guardians, if you enter Brawls this week, do yourself one favor. Try the KAKA team. Kendall, Aiden, Kayla, Astaroth, Dorian. Watch the pressure. Watch the sustain. Watch the chaos. And tell us, did you feel what we felt? Or did you discover something even crazier? Drop your combinations below because the community always finds things nobody expects. Stay tuned, stay sharp. And as always, salute and friendship.